You're not imagining it. And that's the uncomfortable part, because if you're here, it's usually not because nothing is happening. It's because something is happening, but it's never clear enough to trust. You replay conversations. You remember moments that felt different? You wonder if you misread it, or worse, if you were supposed to notice something you didn't. And here's the truth. Most men never hear explained correctly. When a woman likes you and is trying not to show it, the confusion you feel isn't accidental. It's psychological tension, and your nervous system can sense it before your mind can explain it. Men who are observant, not reactive, usually feel this first. They don't chase immediately. They don't assume. They notice patterns. Asterisk, and if you're one of those men, you've probably asked yourself a quiet question you never say out loud. If she doesn't like me, why does it feel like she does? This video is not about mind games. It's not about manipulation. And it's definitely not about playing hard to get. There are legitimate, emotionally intelligent reasons a woman might suppress attraction, especially when the risk feels real. Mutual friends, a friendship she doesn't want to lose. A workplace dynamic that complicates everything, or the simplest, most human reason of all. She doesn't know how you feel and doesn't want to be exposed. That hesitation changes behavior, not attraction. Asterisk, and here's what most people miss. Even when someone is actively trying to control their emotions, the body leaks the truth subtly, quietly, consistently. And once you learn to see those leaks, the confusion disappears. Not because you suddenly become bold or aggressive, but because you stop guessing. Before we go any further, understand this. If you've missed signs before, it doesn't mean you're clueless. It means you were never taught what to look for. Once you see it, you don't unsee it. This awareness builds emotional intelligence and protects you from unnecessary self-doubt. Asterisk, let's start with the first signal. And it's almost invisible unless you know why it matters. Sign number 1. Her feet tell you what her mouth won't. This sounds small, almost stupid until you understand the psychology behind it. The body always orients toward what the mind. When someone wants to leave a conversation, their feet drift toward the exit. When someone is waiting for food, their body leans toward the table. And when someone is emotionally focused on a person, their feet point there, even when their eyes don't. Asterisk, this is not conscious behavior. She's not deciding to do this. Her nervous system is if she's talking to someone else, laughing, engaging. But one foot keeps angling toward you. That's attention leakage. If she's seated and her cross leg points in your direction, same signal. It's subtle, and that's why it's honest. People who are trying to hide attraction focus on controlling their face, their tone, their words. They forget about their feet. Once you notice this, you'll start seeing it everywhere, including in yourself. And when you do, something shifts, because now you're no longer wondering if she notices you. Asterisk, but don't act yet, because the next sign goes deeper, and it's where emotional intent starts to reveal itself. Sign number 2, she creates. Similarity on purpose, even when she pretends it's casual. Pay close attention to this. A woman who isn't interested will keep things neutral, polite, surface level. A woman who is uninterested but cautious does something very different. She builds psychological bridges. She points out similarities. Not dramatically, not flirtatiously, almost accidentally. Asterisk, we're kind of the same in that way. Funny? I like that too. We actually have a lot in common. On the surface, it sounds harmless, but underneath something else is happening. Similarity creates safety. Safety allows attraction to exist without exposure. When she highlights shared tastes, values, humor, or habits, she's subconsciously asking if I let myself like you. Would that make sense? This internal negotiation is about emotional permission, not persuasion. Asterisk, this is not about convincing you. It's about justifying her feelings to herself. And here's the detail most men miss. She's watching how you respond. Not to the words, but to the connection. Do you dismiss it? Do you downplay it? Do you stay grounded? Men who notice patterns instead of chasing validation usually pass this test without knowing they're being tested. Asterisk, but we're not. Done. Because the next sign is where attraction stops being abstract and starts becoming physical, even when it's trying not to. And that's where most men either misread everything or finally understand what's really going on. Sign number 3. She touches you when there is no logical reason to let's slow this down. Human beings do not casually cross physical boundaries without emotional permission, especially women who are cautious, emotionally aware, or socially intelligent. Asterisk. So, when she touches you without necessity, something is already happening internally. Not dramatic touches, not overt flirting, small ones. A hand on your arm when she laughs, a playful push, sitting closer than she needs to. Brushing past you when there's space to walk around. Each moment alone feels meaningless. Together, they form a pattern. Touch is not about boldness. It's about reassurance. When a woman likes you but is trying to suppress it, touch becomes a pressure release valve. Her emotions need somewhere to go. Asterisk, and here's the part most men misunderstand and where mistakes happen. Touch alone is not permission. It's information. Men who rush this signal usually do so because they want certainty immediately. Men who stay calm and observant let the pattern continue to reveal itself. And if you've ever thought she touches me but then pulls back, that's not rejection. That's emotional conflict. Traction pulling one direction. Self-control pulling the other. Asterisk, hold that thought because the next sign exposes what she feels when she forgets to filter herself. Sign number 4, she laughs at you more than the joke deserves. This one isn't about humor, it's about emotional bias. Research has shown this repeatedly, but you don't need a study to see it. You felt it before. When someone likes you, your words land differently. Even mediocre jokes feel warm. Even awkward comments feel endearing. Asterisk. So, if she laughs genuinely at things that clearly weren't that funny, she's not reacting to the joke. She's reacting to you. This is especially revealing when the laugh is automatic, quick, unfiltered, almost like she's surprised herself. And here's a subtle psychological detail most people never consider. When a woman is trying not to show attraction, laughter becomes a leak because it's socially acceptable. She can laugh and still tell herself she's just being friendly, but her nervous system knows the difference. Asterisk if you've ever noticed her laughing and then immediately calming herself down. That pause is awareness. She noticed she revealed too much, which leads directly into the next sign, the one that makes many men freeze because it feels intense even when nothing is said. Sin survive. Prolonged eye contact that doesn't break naturally. This is not about glancing. This is about holding. Eye contact is exposure. It's vulnerability. People who don't want connection avoid it. People who want connection but fear it hover right at the edge. She looks at you. You look back. And instead of breaking immediately, it lingers just long. Enough to feel something. This is not accidental. In her mind, this is communication. She's thinking, if I look long enough, he'll know. Asterisk what she doesn't realize is that most men were never taught this language. So, if you've ever felt that, strange, silent intensity, like something passed between you without words, that was it. And sometimes it's too much. Which is why the very next thing she does is one of the clearest tells of all. Sign number 6. The chin tuck. Asterisk, the moment she gives herself away. This happens fast, almost imperceptible. Eye contact, then the chin. Drops. She looks down, breaks eye contact, maybe smiles slightly, maybe exhales. This is not shyness. This is a physiological response to emotional exposure. Her body just registered attraction, butterflies, awareness, self-consciousness. And she's pulling back before she reveals more. Women don't think about this. They feel it. Asterisk men who are emotionally perceptive often recognize this without knowing why it matters. They just feel the shift. And if you've ever noticed that moment and thought something just changed, you were right. But we're not done yet, because all of these signs can exist and still mean nothing unless the final one is present. And this last signal answers the question. Men are usually too afraid to ask directly. Asterisk. This is where everything either becomes clear or stays confusing forever, because the final sign isn't about body language, humor, or accidental touch. It's about priority, and priority is never faked for long. Sign number 7. Her attention collapses on you. Watch what happens when you enter the room. Not dramatically, not instantly, just subtly. Asterisk, her phone becomes less interesting. Conversations slow down and her awareness shifts. This isn't obsession, it's focus. When a woman is emotionally neutral, her attention is distributed evenly. Friends, environment, distractions, up phone. When attraction is present, even suppressed, attention narrows. If you're speaking and she isn't checking her phone, if she remembers small things you said earlier, she stays mentally present instead of scanning the room, that's not politeness. That's investment. Asterisk, and here's the part that reframes everything. You've just learned. A woman who doesn't want you to misread her will create distance. A woman who likes you but is unsure will create proximity without clarity. That's the tension you feel. That's the reason you question yourself. And now comes the perspective shift most men never hear. The one that changes how you move from this point forward. Asterisk, I'm the real reason this confuses you. You are taught to look for certainty, clear signals, direct interest, obvious intent. But emotionally intelligent attraction, especially restrained attraction, doesn't announce itself. It leaks through the body, through attention, through behavior that contradicts words. And men who are calm, grounded, and self-contained tend to receive this kind of attraction more than they realize because they feel safe. Safe enough to not safe enough to risk exposure. Asterisk, that's why this dynamic shows up around coworkers, friends, social circles. It's not avoidance, it's risk management. And if you've ever blamed yourself for not acting sooner, not seeing it faster, not making a move, understand this. You weren't weak. You were operating without the full map. Asterisk. What changes once you see this? You stop chasing clarity from her. You stop forcing conversations to figure it out. You stop needing to prove anything. Men who understand these patterns don't rush. They observe. They stay grounded. They let consistency reveal intent. Here's the quiet truth. Attraction is real. It sustains itself. Asterisk, and when you stop reacting emotionally to every signal, when you stop trying to decode in real time, your presence alone becomes the test. Some connections deepen, some resolve themselves, some fade. But you no longer walk away confused. You walk away clear. Asterisk, this isn't about control over her. It's about control over your perception. And once you have that, you move differently. You speak less. You notice more. You don't chase signals. You recognize patterns. That's the shift. And once it happens, you don't go back. You simply see.